Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce, we are the champions of change, advocating for diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility in the world of corporate and government contracting. It's not just a show, it's a movement. So get ready for another dynamic journey as we wake up the world to a new era of opportunities and empowerment. Ladies and gentlemen, President Larry Ivory.
Welcome to the Wake Up Show Chicago, powered by the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce. I know that it just said, our president, Larry Ivory, but you know what? He's on siesta right now. He's relaxing. He's getting in some good R&R because the brother works so hard for us. I'm sorry, did that say that he's
Larry on the phone, Mike?
He's on the phone. Oh, look, he can't rest for nothing.
No,
we tell him to rest and relax, and this joker's still going to call in and be on the show. You know what? Without any further ado, I do want to introduce our president, Mon Competent, Mr. Larry Ivory. Larry, are you with us?
Hey, I'm with you, MC and LaDonna Raeh. It is exciting to be on the show for a few moments. I know that I have an incredible team that knows how to handle their business, but I wanted, because we had such a special event this weekend with the incredible Rolling Out and Munson Steed, the leader of Rolling Out. And I wanted to be on the show especially to give a shout out to him and his incredible leadership in honoring incredible women. It was a fantastic time. So, hey, Larry Ivory, I'm glad to be on the show, hanging out with you guys again. I'm going to turn it back over to the team. I'll chime in a little bit later on.
Well, listen, we had an awesome time at Sisters with Superpowers. We are following that up.
I'm sorry, I got to interrupt you. You got on the mic and you didn't tell people who you are.
I was about to get to that.
Oh, okay. Because they're like, who is this guy talking? He sounds familiar.
It's your friendly neighborhood print man, Mr. MC Pearson from 25M Printing.
Thank you.
That's who's on the mic. That's who's on the mic. Your friendly neighborhood print man. Amen.
Amen.
All right. And of course, we have the incomparable Miss LaDonna Raeh.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. Yes, we are coming off of another jam-packed week with the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce. As you know, we know how to get down to the ground when it comes to supporting Black businesses. This past Thursday, we went to the Sisters with Superpowers event. It's the third annual with the Rolling Out magazine with founder Munson Steed. Now, he's been doing this for 20 years, but the actual event has been 3 years old. And I just want to say congratulations to all of the Sisters with Superpowers. And we are actually going to have one of his honorees and awardees on today. Deborah Olivia Farmer is going to be on with us, as well as Munson Steed. So I am just super excited to be here. And I've got on my cape today. No, I have on a actual cape because, we got superpowers.
I know that's right. And you know what? The women that were honored, I like the fact that, I wish I could play the video of each one of them speaking because they're so rich. How they talked about what their superpowers were, whether it's collaboration, whether it was multitasking, whether it's being connectors. You know what? These women are driving the change in our communities, and they're providing economic empowerment. They're providing change. They are providing opportunities. And you know what? I think that what Munson Steed has started here, I believe it needs to grow. I believe we need more recognition. We need to see more of our leaders being honored because guess what? I'm going to tell you something. I knew two of the people that were honorees. I didn't know any of the rest of them.
Oh, I knew
I needed that information.
And see, we as a woman, okay, we're always talking about this thankless job of being a mother, a sister, a daughter, and those things. But it was hosted by Micah Brown. She was amazing. She is so funny and she kept everyone engaged. Also, Carrie Armstrong, CEO of PR Works, was honored.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Bonita Carr, CEO of Special Advocates, was also honored. Cecilia Newcomb Evans, Senior Vice President, she was honored. And of course, I mentioned Deborah Olivia Farmer was also honored, and she's the founder and chief strategist around Farmer Media Group. Also, Sharon Hodges was also honored. Pamela Garman Johnson was honored. Shantae Robinson was honored. and so many more. And we're going to come back and mention the rest of those women that were honored on that special night. But before we go to commercial break, as you know, we have commercial break at 9:15, 9:30, and 9:45. I want you guys to make sure that you are subscribing to our YouTube channel. We don't talk about it enough because there is where you can find all of our published shows that we have put onto our YouTube channel. And remember, since we are backed by the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce, membership has its benefits. Becoming a member of the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce means more than just being a member and going to fancy parties and dinners like Munson Steed just threw on Thursday. But what it means is you're not in business by yourself. You have an entire team that is there to guide you. Whether you're a person that's thinking about becoming a business, you've already been in business, or you're thinking about closing those doors as a business because you don't have your exit plan together, the chamber can help you with all of that as a member. And like I said, membership has its benefits. If you go to ilbcc.org, you will see the link that says membership. Click on that doohickey, and you can see more information about actually becoming a member. Go to youtube.com and look for The Wake Up Show Chicago and hit the subscribe button. It is free. Call into the station at 773-591-1690. That's free too. If you want to talk about our show and what we're talking about today, which is Sisters with Superpowers and Rolling Out Magazine founder, Munson Steed. We're going to go into commercial break. And when we come back, more of The Wake Up Show Chicago. I'm LaDonna Raeh. And we're back. Told you we were going to be back. If you call 773-591-1690, we'll be able to talk to you. But we are ready to bring on our amazing guest, one of our amazing guests. And just as we mentioned earlier, we went to the Sisters with Superpowers, brought to you by Rolling Out Magazine. Rolling Out Magazine has been around for a long time. They've covered anywhere from our superstars to our local superstars in Rolling Out Magazine. And they are also a partner of the chamber because we have had some articles written about our chamber members in Rolling Out Magazine. So let's bring on Mr. Munson Steed. Welcome to the Wake Up Show,
Good
Chicago.
morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning, Doc. How's it going?
You know, we're rolling out real strong on this Saturday morning. Happy to be here. Obviously, love the chamber. Excited, just still on a really excited proposition that greatness is within our race, that our women are definitely queens and priests and definitely making a difference as we see on the national stage right now. A sister with superpowers, so everybody go vote early and often. Rest and resist all this nonsense. We aren't behind this sister. We black men are behind this system, so let's move forward.
You know, I was going to actually save that question for you towards the end of the show, but since you went ahead and made it front and center, one of the things that you said at the Sisters with Superpowers is that some of us, that those of us that could vote early, need to vote early, and then we need to go to places where we are needed. If you can expound upon, if you can explain what you were sharing with us that night, and then expound upon what is it that you meant by we need to go places where we are needed, where we can support. I thought it was very profound, and without giving it away, I just want you to be able to reintroduce it again.
You can give it away. It's a super moment in this life that we have right now for all of us change agents. Mobilization is what we have to do right now. We know that you can vote in Chicago. It's important, cool, done. But we know there are states that really mean the most. So if you're in a state where it's really not a contention on what's getting ready to happen, and you know that there's a state that you're needed in, then vote in Chicago and move 4 hours to the east of you and go to Detroit and be there on election week and work there mobily and actually help mobilize brothers and sisters to be a part of that change. Do not sit in a state where there's not the contention of what's getting ready to happen, but be in a Georgia, be in a place. Go to Wisconsin if you can't make it to all the way to Michigan. Go to Wisconsin and participate with the brothers and sisters. Build friends, build your network, build the power of our community being over, over focused on our success. Champion our sister. Champion that sister with superpower to get to the White House. Do not sit in a state that is not a battleground. Move to a battleground state on election day, volunteer, and be a part of the movement that's going to move generations forward. That is not about this election. It is about the future of our race, of our community, and of our country.
In sales, we say assume the sale. We teach salespeople to assume the sale, assume that you're going to get it, and speak in that manner. But it's just the opposite. We need to not assume the vote. We need to not assume that because of the rhetoric and because of the shipwreck that the other side is constantly doing. We need to not assume that the votes are going to get out for this sister, and we need to go ahead and be proactive.
Well, no, it's also a time to use the map. Like at some point, we in Chicago, we're in good shape. We know that Detroit, there might be a brother and sister that needs a ride. We know that voter suppression in Georgia is real. It is a real thing. So then why would you sit in Illinois when you know that you could be down there supporting the brothers and sisters that they're going to try not to get to vote? The brothers that walk in a barbershop and encourage, walk in a beauty shop and encourage. Walk in a location and let a brother know you are seen, that there are those who believe in you and take. The other thing is training the next generation. You might take that 18-year-old that just registered. You might find that person that needs a ride. You might just bring water to those who have to stand in line. But participate and continue to re-educate and lift up those people. You might just say out loud, Shirley Chisholm. You might just say out loud, all those sisters that have literally supported this. She is not the first to run. So clearly we need to educate our community and say out loud the names of women, black women, sisters with superpowers who've shown their power, who've shown the way.
Yeah. And keep in mind, everyone that's listening, those listening at home and around the world, in the United States, your last day to register to vote online is actually October 20th. That's tomorrow. You need to go to vote.gov. That's vote.gov and get that registration going. The only way you can do that is if you have a valid driver's license in the state that you're registering for. And then you won't be able to register until November 7th, which is after the election. So you want to make sure you get that registration in if you haven't done so already. Munson, I'm 100% with you on being able to get people to the polls. We used to do that as a people. I have not seen that type of activity lately. It seems almost so difficult to even get one person to get themselves to the polls. And then the polls are not clearly indicated as to where they are. They say that they're doing just enough to let you know where they are, but they're not actually doing that. And then when you go to one poll, you're not supposed to be at that one. So how do we get the momentum getting back to going and picking folks up? Because nobody wants to carpool. You know what I'm saying? How do we get that momentum getting back to getting people to the polls as we did back in the day?
There's a lot of excitement in these states. Clearly, battleground states probably hear it, but literally, our dear vice president is going to be in Georgia today. She is sitting down with a group of sisters, Dr. Jackie. She's sitting down with all these sisters today. She's going to be in Georgia with Usher. There is a ton of excitement in battleground states. Charlamagne the God has been there in Michigan. It is literally a moment. So you may not be in, tap in, lean in. This is the moment for us to lean in. There are a lot of movers and shakers. They're not the same. Really, everybody in the community is really ignited about this. It's the moment for you to push yourself to be seen. This is the moment for you to take part. We can't really go with the narrative that you can't find a poll. We know voter suppression is real, but this is that moment for everybody that can hear my voice and the voice of VON, the voice of anybody else to move right now. You sit back. Nobody wants to imagine that she doesn't get across that victory line. She's counting on you. She's counting on me. She's counting on everybody right now. So I really refute the narrative. People are excited about this moment. You've got brothers and sisters who are there. They want us to believe that this isn't a victory. We're going to claim this victory right now for her. We're going to be excited. We're not going to worry about if they're going to take people to the poll. We're going to do it ourselves. They don't want to paint the picture of our success. We know we're being successful. She's raised a ton of dollars. She's advertised with Black-owned media. She has a community that is excited about her. We are charged. It is our charge to defend her. It is our charge to go out and make a difference every single day till we cross this finish line, and be excited about this phenomenal woman who's making a difference, and she is a sister with superpower. So we want to know and want the community to get out and do your part. Don't look for somebody else to do it. It is your moment in time. And take a young person, take an old person, stand on a corner by yourself. Be excited about this moment. We're in our Vote For Me project. We are excited about everything about this race right now. So in Atlanta, in Michigan, in Wisconsin, in Chicago, let's do our part to make sure that you show up and show out on election day and until election day.
All right. I love it. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Chime in
Go
here
ahead.
real quick.
Yes, please.
For Munson, again, it's always an honor to have you on the show. And that's what I love about what you do. You are conscientious, not just when you talk about movie stars and people who are doing great things, but you're conscientious about the state of Black America, about procurement, about business, about everything. And it makes your magazine really a magazine that is important. And I think everybody needs to understand how they can get to your magazine, how they can subscribe to your magazine, and how do we support you for all the support you give on the issues that are important to us at the same time. So before you get off the air, let's make sure we connect with the audience in terms of what it takes to get a subscription to Rolling Out and how do we make that happen. And more importantly, let me also thank U.S. Bank for their support they gave you. But we ought to have 5 or 6 other major corporations supporting the event, and this event ought to be 5 to 10 times the size. And we're going to help to do that as a team because it is so great to honor women. I couldn't imagine where I would be without my mother. I mean, she believed in me when no one else believed in me. So women have always had an incredible superpower to build men and to help men. Not that fathers haven't, because fathers have done a great job also. But I can tell you, women have been such a powerful tool in terms of impacting our lives. So again, I'm honored to have you on the show, Munson.
Thank you so much. Go to rollingout.com. You can go there every single minute. You can watch video now. We've moved. Obviously, we still print, but we're excited about our .com, rollingout.com. We're excited about Deborah Farmer. She is definitely a true victorious queen that's making a difference in the community each and every day. Thanks, Larry, for all you do. Each and every day, where we are, go to the rollingout.com. It really means a lot. I just want to say thanks to the team, thanks to the Black Chamber for all you continue to do. But I want us to all be woke. I want us all to think about critical race theory. I want us all to understand that Ta-Nehisi Coates is writing and has a message for all of us. This is a moment of consciousness. You cannot be listening to this radio station or thinking about the Black Chamber with not understanding that a collective thought right now is always needed for the Black community. Let us be proud in who we are. Let us demonstrate what grace we've received by being able to be the children of our ancestors. So let us move forward each and every day to make a difference and live in this moment. I challenge everybody to live in this moment, to make a difference, to move to a place where you support this sister to cross this finish line so that we can have the first Black female president of the United States. This is the moment that we're living in. We had a wonderful event. I'm so proud of all the sisters with superpowers. I want to say thank you for you, Larry. Thanks to VON. Thanks to US Bank for all of you coming out. But at this moment, let's focus on the prize. Keep our eyes on the prize, and that's victory for Miss Harris to become the first Black female president of the United States. I got to bounce. I really, really appreciate you so much. You guys make me so proud. And Deborah, thank you for all that you continue to do as a leader in the community. Love you. You know that. So continue to shine bright. If you need printing, you know where to get it, everybody. Don't act like you don't know. My brother is right there waiting for you. So let us all support each other. Thanks. And rolling out, I'm Munson Steed, CEO. Go to rollingout.com. Thanks to my team. Thanks to all of you. Deborah, shine bright. Continue to shine bright. Thank you so much.
Wow. What a way to go to commercial break. I didn't even have to do it, Munson. That's it. That's all. Thank you so much for being on the Wake Up Show Chicago, Munson Steve, with Rolling Out Magazine, you all. Make sure you go to rollingout.com to get that magazine subscription so you can get the real news, okay? Especially how he puts it out there. And when we come back from this commercial break, we're going to bring on our next guest, which is Deborah Olivia Farmer. We can't wait. We're excited. All right. We'll see you when we get back on the Wake Up Show, Chicago.
Thank you.
Hey, 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 remember us? The Wake Up Show Chicago is back. Thank you so much for tuning in with us on WVON. We are on each and every Saturday at 9 a.m. Central Time on WVON on iHeartRadio. You can look on WVON.com and listen live. And you can also go to our YouTube, which is youtube.com, and look for The Wake Up Show Chicago. You got to put Chicago after it and make sure you hit that subscribe so that you can get those notifications every time we do something. You can call in at 773-591-1690. We're going to introduce our next guest. But I just want to say that we had Munson Steed on, and really, my whole show notes said, let's discuss Sisters with Superpowers, his magazine, him being the founder and being like so super awesome. And he chose to take his shine and shine it on others. And that says a lot about a person when they come on the radio and are being heard all over the world, because this is World Wide Web now, and they decide to utilize that time and that platform to shine light on others. That says a lot about him.
That's a humble man that understands what the mission is.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's bring on, look, it's time to bring on our honored guest from the other night, Sisters with Superpowers. Let me just say, when it comes to Deborah Olivia Farmer, she is an amazing individual when it comes to the media and strategy. I am so honored to have her on the show as the president of Brown Farmer Media Group, which is a full service Chicago and Atlanta based communications firm. She's been around for a minute, y'all. Don't even do the math because she looks amazing. And we are so honored to bring you on as one of the awardees, Miss Deborah Olivia Farmer. Welcome to the Wake Up Show.
Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning, Miss Deborah. How you doing?
I am wonderful. How about yourself?
Listen, I'm better. I'm doing better than most and even better than that. But you know what? When we were at the rolling out Sisters with Superpowers, that event was so inspirational. See,
Yes.
we don't get to see where our women are leading at, where they are forging new ground, where they are being trailblazers at. And to see all of that and then to be able to share that with the world. Listen, people like to say, oh, little girls, they get to see women doing things, Black women doing things that are magnificent, and it's going to make them believe that they can do it too. First of all, little boys, little girls, grown men, grown women should all be inspired by the work that you do and your other sister honorees do. So I just want to applaud you. It is awesome.
No, thank you. And it's funny you say little girls, and I have to set the stage. We tend to, especially for little girls, when they're bossy. My grandmother did not have a moment where she had a crowd where she didn't talk about me and my little cousin Nikki. And so she would oftentimes say, let Nikki be the mama. And I would say, well, it's going to be two mamas. And so I was always a boss. And so we tend to look at kids as being bossy, but they're actually just little CEOs in training.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. I like that. So what do you do when they get too far away from you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm
Just
old
let them
school
be.
mama.
You let them be. It's not a matter of them being, again, at the base of it, you have to be kind. So it doesn't mean that they're not being kind. They're just
Yeah.
independent. They have their own perspectives of things. They can't be boxed in. All the things that a leader are, those are the qualities that leaders represent: is independence, strength, being able to make decisions. So nothing wrong with it, as long as they're kind in all of it.
I'd like to ask you a couple of questions. Watching you get your award, first of all, you looked absolutely amazing. Your
Oh,
outfit was so Afrocentric yet elegant, and I was ready to borrow that. Well, I wasn't gonna give it back. I'm just gonna be honest. But it was beautiful, and
thank
just
you.
when you accepted your award, to hold back the tears, I can see that. As you gave your speech, you talked about so many things and having a successfully run campaign, and or successfully running campaigns, I should say, in Chicago. One of them being the Chicago Police Department and Fire Department. That's amazing because we are so often trying to mirror, or should I say, marry the community with those, especially the Chicago Police Department, and with your campaign being part of sending the message to the community, and you touched on that. How did it feel for you to receive that award knowing that you were part of this movement?
Well, listen, at the end of the work that we do, and especially with that particular campaign, and that was years ago where we worked with the city of Chicago to help recruit Black and Brown, people, men and women, to be a part of the Chicago Police Department. And so, in the end of that work being historic, I mean, we had the largest numbers of Black and Brown people to apply to the city of Chicago Police Department in the history of the city. And so, one of the things that Munson just mentioned, and this just reflects on the collaborative effort that's needed to get people to the polls, is we found parents, we found mentors, we found grandfathers bringing their young people, in most cases, to our recruitment locations to sign up, bringing them by the ear, literally like, you're going to sign up for this good job. And so that's what was necessary to get us across the finish line. One of the things that I said in my speech, which I think oftentimes needs to be remembered, is that Shirley Chisholm, not to say she was the first to do it, but she was the first to do it. And many people are not familiar with Shirley Chisholm. And so the one quote that stands out for me with Shirley Chisholm is, do not stand on the sidelines complaining. You need to be a part of the change. You need to implement ideas. And so that was the name of our campaign for the Chicago Police Department, Be the Change. Most people would complain about, oh, I don't want to be a police, or complain about the crime. Why don't you get off the sidelines and be a part of the solution? And so that was really a part of my speech. Again, I brought in Shirley Chisholm, who I love the legacy that she has laid forth, as we again see we're in a very important and historic time with hopefully soon the first Black female president of the United States. As I'm rocking my hairs, I do not leave out of my front door without it. Munson mentioned that she's in Georgia this week. This weekend, she's going to be at my church. I actually live in Atlanta, Georgia, from Chicago, born and bred. But again, I'm currently living in the Georgia area. She's going to be at my church tomorrow. She is very serious about this campaign, and we need to be just as committed and serious to make certain that she gets across the finish line.
Amen. And I like the Shirley Chisholm reference. I remember you saying that, and you said we have to activate.
Yeah.
Um, I had a conversation with actually with a friend of mine not too long ago about how people strategically place themselves or their people in position in order to create the narrative or to create the culture of whatever that position may impact. And you're right. If we're grabbing our community by the ear, saying "Get down there," then the police brutality would ultimately be addressed, because now we have our people in position. We're always often not more often than not we're talking about protest, but our conversations have to be more about getting in position in order to have power. And that makes you a
Absolutely.
sister with superpowers for real, because you've mentioned that, and it was in part in your campaigns as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, it's really not about just complaining. You have to be a part of the solution. And so even to that end, you have to make certain that you're not just thinking about yourself. I am heavy in the space of mentoring, especially in the media landscape. There are not many of us, Black women in positions of making decisions that impact others. And so mentorship is very important to me. But one thing that I stand on, it's not about you, boo. And so with that, it's not about you just going to the polls and voting. Did you call your sisters? I will tell you, again, living in Georgia, I did vote early voting. It was Tuesday for me of last week.
Okay.
And I got there, was in and out. I texted, a couple, actually, I posted it on social, and a couple of my girlfriends saw it, and they went to do it that same day. So you have to realize that it's not about you, boo. It's about, who are you helping? What are you doing to be a part of a solution for not just yourself, but for the community?
Well, what advice do you have to some sisters with superpowers that are in the making? The little
Yeah.
fast talking little girls, that might be a boss one day. What advice do you have to cultivate these young people? Because ultimately, when we're ready to retire, it's time for them to come on board and take over and keep this thing going. What is your advice to them?
I think really to the end of what, Munson is doing with this particular initiative, Sisters with Superpowers. I think a lot of times women don't really, how can I put it, know what their strengths are, right? They may be told negatively, again, if you have leadership qualities, if you're a collaborator, if you're a connector, and some people may be doing these things not really knowing that those are your superpowers, those are your strengths, right? And so I would encourage people to, especially Black women, to know where your strengths lie, and once you know them, stay in that space. Don't try to do
Mm-hmm.
something that is not where your skill sets lie, and then find others that can fill in the gaps, right? And so if you're not a strategy person, find someone that is, right? And so it's
Yeah.
really about, again, collaboration at the end of the day. But my recommendation to the younger generation is to know where your strengths lie and to lay in them. Stay there.
All right. Well, you know what that sound means by now, Deborah.
Yes, I
It
do.
is time for the commercial break at 9:45. It's our last commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to drive this thing home. Mr. Ivory's still on the line, so he's listening, but I know he got some things to add to the show. All right. We'll see you when we come back on the Wake Up Show Chicago.
Welcome back to the Wake Up Show Chicago, powered by the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce. You know, I was inspired as I listened to Munson, as I listened to Deborah. And so let me tell you where the inspiration took me. It took me to elections.il.gov, elections.il.gov. And if you go to that website, you can find out where you can go and early vote at. It will let you know, you tell it what county that you live in, and it will let you know exactly where you can go and vote. I can go to the Naperville Public Library and vote early. This way, I can then present myself as a help on election day for other people who may need a ride to the polls and may need me in another state in order to assist over there. So I just want to let all of our listeners know elections.il.gov. And for all of our listeners that are in other states, I am pretty sure that your state also has a website that will tell about where to go and early vote. All I did was Googled where to early vote in the state of Illinois, and bam, Illinois already had a website.
Awesome. Well, we're talking to Deborah Olivia Farmer. She's one of the honorees and awardees that was honored the other night at the Munson Steed. Well, I'm saying the Munson Steed, but it was the Rolling Out, the Rolling Out Sisters with Superpowers third
Powered by
annual.
Munson Steed.
Powered by Munson Steed. He's like, look, this is a woman's thing. Okay, this is the last year. I'm gonna get up here and say anything, is what he said. But, again, he got on here so humbly and spoke more about shining the light on other women, including Kamala Harris and other leaders that we have had on that particular platform with his awards ceremony. But Miss Deborah,
Yes.
how is it that you can help? Because we're women, right?
Yes.
we're women in business.
Yeah.
How do you help women in business, particularly when it comes to, let's say, financing? Because a lot of us are some of us are single mothers or widowed. Well, we've got a lot of stuff on our platter. It's no longer a plate for us.
Yeah.
But how do we come and get that assistance? How do you help women own businesses, particularly when it comes to finance?
Yeah, I think again, leaning into what I just stated, again, it's not about you booing. What I mean by that is if you are afforded to be in certain rooms, it's not for you to be there alone, right? How can you pull in your other sisters to give them the same information? Sharing resources that you might get. One thing you just talked about finances. Most of us, and I want to connect this again to Shirley Chisholm. Oftentimes I do. Also had a quote, unbought and unbossed. And so when you think about the numbers of Black women that are jumping out of these corporate structures into business, into entrepreneurship, small business ownership, it is for that very reason, because oftentimes we are viewed as unbossed, right? And so, but one thing that happens is they jump out without any actual access to capital. And so that is very necessary. We're not in a position in most cases to have, generational wealth where, someone may have passed along a fortune for you to start a business. So you're bootstrapping your business. And so you go out and you try to apply for loans. This was brought up at the event. We're denied, at a greater number than others that go and apply for small business grants or loans or access to capital by lines of credit. Those types of things really are hard to come by. And so that is one way to support, is to be able to provide or lift whatever provisions that are in place for us to get the access to, do the work that we want to do. The other layer to that too is providing us an opportunity to get like angel investors. There has to be a way to help us support our business financially. Most cases, again, a lot of business owners really have one employee. Right. Think about that. Right. And so I think the finance is a real big piece. I think that needs to be something that is at the top of minds. And again, we know that Vice President Harris has mentioned that that's going to be a major focus for her, giving $20,000 loans, forgivable loans to those that decide to start businesses. And so access to capital is a real big issue for us.
Yeah, it absolutely is. It's almost like we use all of our personal credit to get through the storm. And these little bitty storms turn into a big, huge Katrina. Okay.
Yeah.
And we forget about the many hands light loads. You and I have a mutual friend who always said that. And many hands light loads really makes a difference, because we have to come together and help one another so that we can have a bigger empire and enterprise. It's really sad that we always use this. We throw this 1.3, $1.8 trillion around every single year, and that's growing from the Black community,
Yes.
especially women, right? Because we're shopping, but we don't get that money back. We only get a fraction of that money when it comes to being approved to do better for our own community.
And
Um,
it's really
yeah,
about us supporting each other as well.
yeah.
So think about it. We had 10 honorees on Thursday. What is it that would hurt us, honestly, for each of us to collaborate? We were all in different sectors. There's got to be a level of collaboration even amongst us, right? And so not looking at each other as competition. Again, if you are working a business by yourself, collaborate with another small firm to get the bigger contracts. There has to be a sense of, there's enough out here for all of us, but collaboration is really key, especially if you don't have the access to pull off the big work.
I love it. I love it. Well, I mentioned most of the honorees. I
Hey,
think I
Deborah,
left.
let me
Oh, go
chime
ahead,
in.
Larry. Okay.
Yeah, let's. I know because you guys you can't see me, so I have to just kind of rush in here and just kind of push my way in. But Deborah, I want to first of all, as President and CEO of the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce, it was an honor to hear your story and your incredible superpower.
Thank you.
And we just love what you're doing. One of the things that I think is really important from our organizational point of view is that we want to empower Black businesses, women, men, all Black businesses, because we know the pathway from poverty to prosperity comes through entrepreneurship and education. And I'd like to make sure that we're connected, that from a chamber perspective, that we get a chance to sit down and talk to you about how we can help you. Because one of the things that the chamber has done is that there was something they call the sheltered market. And the sheltered market is one of the most important tools for equity in the state of Illinois. Is a law that sits on the book, and we pushed the law to make sure that Black advertising firms had a chance to get more upstate advertising dollars, and we had some success with Michelle Flowers, but there's much more to be done. I surely would like to double back with you to see how familiar you are with the sheltered market and the value that I think it can do in terms of the space that you guys play in. So we'd love to get your number and for me and our team to follow up with you to figure out how we can collaborate and help you and help others to get to the next level.
I am so grateful for that. I welcome it. I live under God's grace in his favor, and I appreciate it. Even for you, LaDonna, to invite me of all the honorees to be in a position to speak. I'm very grateful, and thank you very much, Mr. Ivory. I'm really looking forward to that conversation.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Well, Larry, I do want to mention the rest of the honorees that were there, just because I don't want to leave them out. I think I left off at Sharon Hodges, but Pamela Garman Johnson was also there. Shantae Robinson was also there, and Lavita Spencer. I want to say congratulations to all of them. If I missed anyone, oh my goodness, I do apologize. But these are some amazing women. I can honestly say that we were sitting there enamored by the speeches that they gave. Some were shorter than others, but they were still super powerful. So an amazing night. I left there going to find my cape. I dusted it off because I just burned it. I'm telling you, I just burned it. I'm tired of being Superwoman, but this helped me to revamp being it's a different perspective of what a superwoman really is, a sister with superpowers, I should say. So thank you all. We're coming up on 2 minutes left in our show, and this is the time that we start getting the tissue, and we're sad to go because we just need more time to talk about how great the chamber is with small businesses and how wonderful it is to have a show on a platform like WVON, a Black owned radio station. And I know that you hear us speak upon how Black ownership is so important, but it is, okay? Look it up. Ask your AI. It's so important if you haven't talked to A or I about it. But my point is, we have to really sustain Black ownership. And it's okay to be specific because I look in the mirror and that's what I see. I see a Black woman in me. Okay. So I want to thank everyone for listening to the Wake Up Show Chicago. I know that Larry has some closing remarks, and then we're going to tell you how to follow us and how to get involved with the chamber as a member. Go ahead, Larry.
Hey, but Deborah and to Munson Steed rolling out again, just accolades for all the wonderful work that you guys have done. And to the women with superpower, keep being super. You're unstoppable. You add so much value to our communities, and we have to come together as a family to protect our own collective interests. And this election will be a pivotal time in history for us, and we cannot miss the opportunity, I think, to make a difference. So to Deborah, to the great work that you're doing, and to the great work of all the women, LaDonna, and also a special shout out to another one with superpower, the owner of WVON, Melody Span Cooper,
Yes.
is a superpower. So hats off to you and to all the wonderful women, and to our mothers who basically, without them, I don't know where any of us would be. So shout out to all the mothers who've given so much to their sons and daughters to make sure that they can succeed.
Shout out to the mamas. All right, MC, I know you got something. It's 10 o'clock. You better hurry up because you know they're going to cut it.
And listen, we're going home right now. Actually, we're on our way to church. But with that being said, we want to thank all of our special guests on today. Sisters with Superpowers, we are honored to be able to partner with them. And the Chamber and Munson and Deborah, we're going to keep on moving on and creating change in our communities. We'd like to thank you for listening to the Wake Up Show Chicago, powered by the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce. You can catch the replay on YouTube, and don't be stingy. You heard some good stuff on today. You need to share that video. You need to like it. You need to put it in somebody's box that need to hear it. We're going to get our vote early, and then we're going to move on and help others. That's it. That's all we got. Thank you.
Okay, so go to ilbcc.org and become a member of the Illinois State. Please, I'm being specific. It's the Illinois State. You have to put state in there. Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce. I'm saying that for a reason, y'all. There's a lot of them out there, but there's only one Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce. ILBCC.org. Make sure you go to that site, man. See you next Saturday on the Wake Up Show Chicago.
Now you got to buy another domain name.